But the answer is so simple, and you can find it in this Judeo-Christian tradition. But we don't just we forget it again and again. You know that the real source and cause of evil is this evil being, Satan. You know, and he's. But I think that our imagination is not, big enough to understand how what that being is, who he is, how he works, how what is his impact on this world, and how it is that God allowed him to, to be, to do what he's doing, But I had gone to over, I think 70 this travel to with psychedelic, with mushrooms, and I was always confronted with him, and I was always trying to understand the way he's working, and so it's just as he's as it is written in the Holy Bible. When this world was made by God, in the heavenly realm, the principle of of functioning is that the most that those who are on the higher level of hierarchy serve those who are on the lower level, because they are more intelligent, more, I don't know, rich or whatever. They use these gifts, because everything comes from God, to help those who had least of these talents, let's say. So, and this is the right way to doing. Those who knows better, who knows better, they serve those who they help them. They help them. So this was the role of the angels, to help people. But he was so. This was his non serviam. I don't want to do it. I'm these little creatures. People, this made from dirt. From earth, and I am made from fire, from God's fire. I won't do it. And he rebelled against God. It's the wrong interpretation that he wanted to be God. It's nonsense, because he knew that he cannot be God. He is not stupid, but he didn't want to serve man.
Exactly.
He didn't want to serve man. So, and because he rejected, he had lost his position. His position was, the legends say, that he was on the first among the seraphs, the first angels that are most closest to God. So he lost his position, and so he is so angry, like when somebody is fired, but he is fired because of his own rebellion, let's say.
Rebellion and pride.
But he is now he is angry at the world, the humans, because they are the cause of his fall, and he is full of hatred, and he wants to destroy the God's creation because he knows that he will never come back to the God's throne, and that he has lost it. And like a child who has a tantrum, he now wants to destroy as much as he can of this creation of God. So, and he hates humanity. He hates God's world. So he is full of hate, and he is full intelligent. And what he is doing is, with his intelligence, he is persuading us to don't follow the rules of nature. The rules that are immanent to this nature, so that we we are we are making, by listening to him, not knowing, but listening to him, we are making our life miserable. Because we live in a way that it's killing us. It's like a man who is smoking cigarettes. And it's a venom. You will die from this. But it's a slowly dosage of venom, so that you cannot die immediately, but you will slowly killing yourself day by day, day by day. You're slowly killing yourself, not knowing this. So this is what Satan is really making. He make us to do things that are killing us.
Yeah.
And all the world, is doing that, and this is a repetitive then way of living that the new generation just taking from the generation before, and they transport to the next generation. And so this is the source of evil. So it's really a network of misunderstanding and not knowing what you're doing. It's a complete mess. It's a total mess.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And thank you for that, Momir. It's very insightful, and when you elaborate on it very profoundly and very
clear. I think
very
it's
clear. Yes, anyone
be...
can understand. Yeah, it's on the spot. It's perfect. Any secular person can understand it in some way. Okay, that's how it is.
And so how it's, God doesn't want to destroy his own creation. He even cannot destroy now Satan, because Satan, let's say, has infected you. So if he destroyed him, he destroys even you.
Oh, yeah,
So
yeah.
he don't want to do it yet. So the way his tactics is that he sent his son to the world, knowing that his son will be killed, because he will be everyone, because they are infected, because people are infected by Satan. He will hate him and he will kill him. He knows that, but he comes to it, and his son comes willingly. He said, okay, I will go down there. And he comes to bring light, to bring light, to become to understand what is happening here. Demons are almost it's almost that they are not present in the Old Testament. There are many just a few mention of demon of Satan, but because we are still in the dark, let's say.
Yeah.
And when the light of Christ came on earth, we started to understand that there are demons all around us.
Yeah, exactly. Do you remember the book of Tobit?
Yeah.
Yeah,
There
it's
are,
a clear example.
Mhm.
It's a one of my favorites.
I like
from the Old
this.
Testament.
Yeah, I like also that book. Yeah, and so by the light of Christ and by the Holy Spirit, now we slowly are beginning to understand, this battle between good and evil, and we are slowly, and this is all the process when you see what is the central thing that church is doing in this process 2000 years is education, is bringing the truth on it's opening it's translating the books, opening the schools, it's to make the world and people more and more conscious about the truth, the truth about things. But this is a very slow process. But from the God's perspective, that it's written that one day from God's perspective, it's thousand years. So from our perspective, it's a very, very slow process. But from his perspective, everything it's on his place. Now it's a rhythm of nature, a tempo of nature. It's because there is also this. He doesn't do things against nature. He brings salvation through nature. He's he's changing, he's transforming the nature. He's healing the nature. So it's a slow and a long process, and we are in this process. So for our mission or call, or call it what you want, is to wake up to this reality, to wake up from this unconscious state that we are, to understand what is happening, and to choose side, and to pick the side of the light of the Christ, and to bring more and more Christ in our lives, so that we can bring his light into the world.
Yeah, it is this receiving and giving.
Yeah,
and it's both vertically and horizontally.
Yeah. Because and you must be, my hand. You must be open, because this open hand, it can receive and it can give. Open hand. If you are closed, you even can receive, and you even can give. So this openness of mind, of heart, this is the only thing that it's needed, to receive and to give.
Yeah. And
but what is Satan trying with fear? He's closing our heart, our mind.
And separate us and fragment us.
Yes, from God and from each others.
Yeah. And the problem of evil, when Jung talks about it in answer to Job, I think that's also a key point. When God allows the adversary to work on Job, that is such a righteous and godly man. There is a passage in Job where Job questioned God I think, in some way. Why have you done this and so forth? And then God says something of the line of, "You're just a human," and you were. He asked Job, "Were you in the beginning of the creation?" And that's the key when you're talking about. That's one of the key, I think, to understand what you're talking about, because it is this humbling to be willing to receive something from God, but don't think you can, in your pride, just grab it for yourself and try to elevate your capacity to a level where you're not supposed to be yet. Not yet. So that we don't really know always why something happened to us. We, in our humanity, our human nature, we perceive it as this is bad, evil. But fast forward 10 years, maybe you will look back and see, okay, I see the red thread here. If this didn't happen, I wouldn't be here because of this and that. And you can see a connection. Yeah.
So that is why Christ's example with accepting the cross and the God will about the crucifixion is so important to us, because that when he was talking about his crucifixion and his being killed, so that his pupils, his Peter and so react like every man would react. They say, "Oh, that is not something that should not happen to you," and he say, "Satan, step away from me," and if this is the will of my Father, I will accept it. So he doesn't question the will of his own Father, even if even if his destiny is not so it's something that is really terrible. It's really evil. It's something we in our life we try to avoid things that are uncomfortable because we are perceiving them as evil. We are searching only for good sensation and good good stuff in life.
Yeah, and that's not just true metaphysically, but also physically. Because when you avoid suffering, you will get weak. You won't get the chemicals that serotonin and dopamine and so forth. And actually, in suffering, we develop through suffering. And so, for myself, I can, if I have an environment that is too comfortable, I don't like it. I do it, I fast. I train hard. I don't do the things I can do just because I can and I like them. Let's say, you want to eat much food, you want to have much sex, and so no, it's not for me to do. You won't, just on a basic level, you won't feel good doing them in excess anyway. And if you don't have the physical and spiritual discipline, many things just fall out of the window. So it's like, I don't know if do you like to hike or sleep outside in tent and in wilderness? I know it's a big problem in other countries. We are very blessed here in Scandinavia that we have something is called allemansrätten. It's all man's right. You know, you can be on any even if someone owns a forest, you have the right to sleep there in a few days, and if you're not destroying things, you can't sleep on the lawn of a house, but you know. So here in Sweden you also have big areas with there is no civilization in miles, so you can just go out and hike for a month. So, and it's in the mountains, in the forest, and you know. So how I see it when I come out, you know, I when I hike, you know, weeks and end, it's not that I'm fleeing reality, because you can say that from a modern perspective, you're just fleeing, you know, from everything. But actually, when I come out in nature, in the really rural wild nature, it's like I'm coming into reality. I'm really put in my spot. I'm put in the right place, you know, where I have to look for water. I have to be cautious of not eating too much, because you know the only thing I have is the food in my backpack, and I'm not a hunter, so I can't shoot a reindeer and or a bear or whatever, but or a elk. And even if I was a hunter, it's very hard to hunt. So maybe you can have a fishing rod with you if near a lake, but you know, fishes is not that much food. You have berries, but berries and stuff you can eat, but almost everything you have in your backpack. You have to be conscious of not eating too much. You have to break down, and you have to build your home, so to say, every day with your tent, and you have to be cautious of where you put the tent so you don't get too much wind. If it's too heavy winds, you can the tent can get destroyed, and you get wet and you freeze, and then you die because you can't contact anyone, because the nearest phone satellite phone maybe being a 2-day hike, you know. So it's really put you in the spot, and you know, it's like you really come into reality. But it's quite strange, because you're in this environment where it feels like I am the only person in the whole world, you know, and this is just for me. And you know, when you I usually say, like, if you're outside in quite wild nature in 2 weeks, that's when things starting to change quite radically. You know, your senses become much clearer. You can spot birds from a distance, as a real good distance. You get in tune, you know, and